All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. How many molecules of oxygen are needed to react with 3 moles of ethane? Taking a look here, absolutely, we're going to start off with our 3 moles of ethane. So that will be our pink side. So pink side is 3 moles of ethane. So we absolutely are correct here. This should be moles right here. And then taking a look here, we are ending with molecules of oxygen. Oxygen is going to be our blue side. Blue side. So taking a look here, blue side molecules is down here at the bottom. And then absolutely in the middle, we have to first stop over at moles. Remember, you can only ever convert to moles of different chemicals. Yeah, I figured that out. You can only go moles to moles of different chemicals. So everything first has to get converted into moles. Excellent. Let's go ahead and get started here. This is a reminder to not share contact info. Make sure that you're participating often and well and behaving appropriately, and make sure that you are or don't forget that these are being recorded. So that being said, I did get enough attendance. So here is your attendance link. And then start of class word for today starts with the letter H. Please raise your hand when you have that ready to go. You have 20 seconds. Go, go, go. And don't forget that it will be disappearing from the chat box in 12 minutes. So you need to get here on time, get it before then. Let's go raise our hands. All right, we're just waiting on AJ, Andres, Mustard, Keon, and Evan. Go ahead and raise your hands. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome, AJ, glad you're back. Andres, go ahead, raise that hand if you're all set. Keon, Evan, Jason, welcome to class. Go ahead and open up your attendance. Going to check in with Keon. And going to check in with Evan. And then Jason, again, raise your hand if you're good on your attendance. And Andres, are you good? Awesome. Let's go ahead and keep on moving. Perfect. All right, everyone. There are only 14 school days left of trimester 2, and then courses are ending. So no worries, Andres. So please make sure that you are getting your unit 1, 2, and 3 projects done. And then don't forget that tomorrow you will have your unit 4 projects sent out to you along with a recording. Just so you know, it's a really short project because we've been doing all the notes in class. So tomorrow it's just the project slides. It's super duper short. It's just an amazing reaction. You'll watch a video of it, and you will balance the equation and then do a little bit of stoichiometry with it. So it's only a few slides. It's super short. You should knock this one out of the park. Again, make sure you're doing all your projects. Those are worth the most amount of points. You cannot pass without projects. And then remember that each set of notes that you do does help to boost that grade a little bit more. So make sure you're also doing your notes. So taking a look here, today we are working on 3-step stoichiometry problems. So I need you to go ahead and open up your 4I notes. We are going to do 2 problems together and then 1 problem on your own. It is your last project, Andre, so that should make you happy. Last project, and then all we have left is our final unit and our final exam. Go ahead and raise your hand once you have your notes open. You have 20 seconds. Go, go, go. We still have to finalize a couple of details of it, Andres, but it should be like 5 slides. Not counting some of the like informational stuff. The stuff you have to actually fill out should be like 5 slides. Yeah, exactly. It's super duper short. You should be very successful. Now it's the stoichiometry stuff. So you'll have the same kind of stoichiometry setup that you've been having. So you should be really familiar with it. You'll have a 1-step, a 2-step, and a 3-step problem. All right, waiting on raised hands from Sahil, Mustard, Alexis, Keon, Angelina, Evan. Oh no, it's glitching, AJ. Okay, well, if anyone else here is glitching too, let me know because maybe it's on my side. Raise your hands, Sahil, Mustard, Alexis, Keon, Angelina, and Evan. All right, gonna go ahead and check in with people. All right, Angelina, where are you at? Let me go ahead and check in with you. Angelina, Alexis. Raise your hands, y'all. Thank you, Angelina. Thank you. All right, and Mustard. All right, awesome. Just Mustard and Evan I have not heard from. All right, let's go ahead and keep on going. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Remember, this is our roadmap that we just saw. Remember that when we want to go from particles to moles or vice versa, we just use Avogadro's number. When we want to go from, sorry, that was my daughter being very excited. When we want to go from grams to moles, we use molar mass. All right. But again, the only way to convert to a different chemical is to use the magic mole ratio, from our balanced chemical equation. Now, today, I'm not going to have you I'm not going to have you balance chemical equations. I'm not going to have you calculate molar masses. Those will be provided for you. But again, in your project, you will need to be able to do those on your own. So, but today that would take too long. So just so you know, as a heads up, I will be providing balanced equations and molar masses to you already. All right. So let's go ahead and do 2 problems together and then 1 on your own. So the question is, how many grams of nitrogen trifluoride will be formed if we have 12 grams of fluorine? Point for me up on the board, what do I already know? So take a look at our question here and point for me, what is our known? What number are we starting with? Yeah, exactly. So we know 12 grams of fluorine, so that's going to be our pink side. I'll label that down here, F2. So on the pink side, please point for me, where do you see grams on the pink side? Where do you see grams on the pink side of our map? Let's get some more people up there. I only see 6 arrows, one of which is freaking out. And let's get some more people up there. There are 15 of you. Let's go. Get your arrows up there. Yeah, perfect. So right here, this is where we see mass on the pink side. Now go ahead, go back up to the problem right here and tell me, what are we solving for? Again, take a look at those question words. How many what? What are we solving for? Point, point, point. Green, get your arrow up there. There we go. Perfect. Grams of nitrogen trifluoride, that's a different chemical. So this is going to be our blue side, NF3. And point for me on the blue side of our mind map here. Where do you see grams for the blue side? Grams for the blue side. No worries. You can always unclick the arrow and re-click it, and you'll probably be a different color. Yeah, not particles. We want grams. Grams, grams, grams. Grams is a mass. Perfect. So this is where we will be ending. Now point for me, what steps come in the middle? What steps come in the middle? There's actually 2 of them, so it's fine for you to kind of go back and forth between them. Yeah, perfect. Those 2 steps, we first, again, need to always get to moles. So we have to get to the moles of the starting chemical and then convert to moles of the ending chemical. Moles to moles. You can never skip over moles. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with what we know. We know that we have 12 grams of fluorine. I want to turn that into a fraction, so let's put it over what? Anything divided by this number will still equal itself. So let's put it over what? Yeah, let's go ahead and put it over 1. Perfect. Now in the next step, I want to get rid of grams of fluorine. So where does it need to go? I want to get rid of grams of fluorine. Where does it need to go? Tell me in the chat. I see Lisa. Let's get some more people. Lourdes and Jason, tell me in the chat. Brian and Miranda, where does the grams of fluorine need to go in the next step to divide or cancel it out? Yeah, it needs to go on the bottom. Grams of F2 on the bottom. Now, again, I cannot yet get to the blue side. I've only gotten to this part right here. So what units and what chemical have I gotten to so far? Again, I'm still on the pink side, so it's still the same chemical. So tell me the same chemical and what units we have gotten to. It's the same chemical. Tell me the same chemical, but now what units are we getting to? We always have to get to what? Awesome. I see Sierra in the chat with units and with chemical. I see Andres. I see Lisa. Let's go. Let's get units and the chemical. It's still the same chemical. Still F2. Get your answers in the chat. But before we can do any conversions to different chemicals, we first have to get to what? Yeah, we first have to get to moles of that chemical. So moles of F2 here. We always have to get to moles first. Perfect. Now, this requires us to have a conversion, a number that includes both grams and moles. And we know that that is molar mass. Again, this has already been calculated for you, but we have something that includes grams and moles, and that is the molar mass of fluorine. So let's take a look at the molar mass of fluorine right here. What number goes next to moles? Again, this is just a fraction in disguise. There's currently a blank next to moles. Blanks mean what? What does this blank next to mole in this fraction mean? Yeah, it just means the number 1. And what number goes next to grams from our molar mass? What number goes next to grams in our molar mass? Again, make sure you're participating in the chat because you will need to do the next one on your, the final one on your own. So the more you practice, the more comfortable you will be with doing the last one on your own. Excellent. I see Rowan, Sierra, Lisa in the chat. Let's get Aaliyah, Sahil. Let's get Mustard in the chat. Let's get Miranda. There we go. Let's get Brian, Lourdes, Jason in the chat. There we go. I see AJ, I see Angelina. I need more participation. I will wait. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Lourdes. Yeah, 38 grams. Perfect. So we see 38 grams there. Awesome. So grams gets divided out. Okay, so I'm currently at moles of fluorine. Is that what I'm solving for? Yes or no? Is that the how many? Am I solving for moles of fluorine? No, you are not solving for moles of fluorine. So we need to keep on going. This is not the end, right? So we need to keep on going. So moles of fluorine's on the top. Where does it go in the next step to divide it out? Everyone should know this. So literally the question I ask the most. Yep, perfect. It needs to go on the bottom. So moles of F2 goes on the bottom. And finally, I can turn it into the new chemical. So give me what is the new chemical and what is the units for the new chemical? What is the new chemical and what is the new units? Oh no, your number key. It's the worst. Again, we can finally get to our new chemical. So what's that chemical? On the blue side. And what are the units? Again, we can only go from moles to what? Moles to what? What's that unit? Just read it from the board. Read it from the board. I see Sierra in the chat. Don't forget the chemical. So you're giving me units, but now I still need chemical. Put it all together. The units and the chemical. Units and the chemical. Thank you. I see Lisa with it. Yeah, so we have to go moles to moles, but now we have our new chemical, and our new chemical is nitrogen trifluoride. So moles of NF3. Moles of NF3 on the top. Now again, these numbers, if we want to go moles to moles has to come from our chemical equation. So let's go ahead and try that one out. So how many moles of nitrogen trifluoride do you see in our chemical equation right here? Again, read the coefficient. Coefficient tells us moles. Thank you. I see Rowan. See Lisa. There we go. Thank you, Miranda. Awesome participation. Thank you, AJ. I see Angelina. Excellent. Yeah, so our coefficient here is a 2. So I'm going to fill in that we have 2 moles. And for every 2 moles, we have how many moles of iron in our, of fluorine in our equation? For every 2 moles of nitrogen trifluoride, we have how many moles of fluorine? Go ahead and read that coefficient. Yeah, we have, Miguel. I'll go ahead and send it out to you again. And then attendance is going to disappear in just a moment too. So I'll send that too. So here's the link to attendance. It's a start of class word. And then here are the notes. All right, sorry. Again, how many fluorines do you see in our chemical equation? We got to fill this in. How many fluorines do you see in our chemical equation? Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, AJ. Yeah, our coefficient right here is a 3. Easy peasy. It's a 3. Awesome. So we have 3 moles of fluorine, F2. All right, so we've gotten rid of moles of fluorine. Now I'm left with moles of nitrogen trifluoride. Is that what I'm solving for? Yes or no? It says how many what? Is that what I'm solving for? Moles of nitrogen trifluoride. No, we are solving for grams, so we need to keep on going. So let's keep on going. All right, I want to get rid of moles of nitrogen trifluoride. Where does it go in the next step? I know, these 3-step problems. Yep. On the bottom, everyone should know that. Perfect. And what am I finally solving for? Take a look at our diagram or take a look at the question. How many what? What's the units? What's the chemical I am solving for? Awesome. I see units. Give me chemical too. Give me chemicals too. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Sierra. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Andres. Thank you, Miranda, Angelina. Yeah, grams of nitrogen trifluoride. Perfect. All right, actually, I did want to change the colors of these just so that's really obvious that we have now converted to a new color. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look here. So again, the only thing that has grams and moles in it is the molar mass of nitrogen trifluoride, which is right here. So how many grams do you see in nitrogen trifluoride's molar mass? How many grams do you see in nitrogen trifluoride's molar mass? Again, this was already calculated for you. I see Sierra, I see Rowan, I see Lisa. What number is next to grams in the molar mass for nitrogen trifluoride? Thank you, Miranda. Let's go. Aaliyah, Sahil in the chat. Mustard in the chat. Brian in the chat. Lourdes in the chat. What number do you see next to grams from the molar mass of nitrogen trifluoride? Yeah, you should see 71. And what number do you see next to moles? Again, it's a blank. Blanks mean what? Yep, there we go. Blanks mean 1. Awesome. So we have our moles divided out. I'm left with grams of nitrogen trifluoride. Is that what I'm solving for? Is that what I'm solving for? Yes or no? Yeah, perfect. So we have our equation set up. Go ahead and give me a green check, orange X. How are you feeling about that so far? Again, we're just following the map. We're just following the units. All we have to do is pay attention to the units. Excellent. All right. Yeah, if you're in the middle, that's fine. Make sure you're practicing. Again, the third one you have to do on your own. Awesome. So let's go ahead and just multiply this out. This is just easy multiplying across. So on the top, I have, come on, 12 times 1 times 2 times 71. And on the bottom, I should have 1 times 38 times 3 times 1. What do I get on the top? Tell me in the chat. What do I get on the top? I'm going to check on my calculator too because I don't have it memorized. So everybody needs to do it. Make sure you actually calculate it itself. Don't just copy the first person. Sometimes the first person's wrong. So actually check it yourself. There we go. I see AJ, I see Andres, I see Rowan, Angelina, Miranda, I see Sierra. Yeah, so on top we have 1,704. And what do I get on the bottom? 38 times 3. What does 38 times 3 equal? I'll check it too. Beautiful. Yes, we should be getting 114 on the bottom. This is just a fraction, and fractions are just division. So I need to do the top divided by the bottom. So 1,704 divided by 114. What is my final answer? Round to 2 decimal places. And don't just copy. Make sure that you are trying it out for yourself because you will need to do the last one on your own. I have 3 people in the chat. I need more participation. Okay, no worries, Andres. Thanks for letting me know. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, there we go. So you should be getting a 14.94 with a 7 after it. Remember, 7 is a big number, so you should actually round up to 14.95. All right, smiley faces, emojis, if that makes sense, why everybody was rounding up instead of staying at 14.94. Yeah, so you should be getting 14.95. And then taking a look here, our leftover units, again, are just grams of nitrogen trifluoride. So GNF3. All right, this is going to be our answer for number 1. Go ahead and raise your hands when you have that filled out. You do need units, so make sure that you spell them as G space NF3 to represent grams of nitrogen trifluoride. You have 20 seconds to fill that out or take a picture and raise your hand. The computer won't mark you down for capitalization, but I do recommend that you capitalize just to practice it. It's best practice. Awesome. All right, so that was 20 seconds. Just waiting on AJ. I think you're good, so just make sure you raise your hand. Alexis, Brian, Angelina, and Evan. Angelina, Angelina, Angelina. And Evan, Evan, Evan. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and keep on moving. All right, here we go. So how many grams of aluminum chloride can be formed if you have 15 grams of hydrochloric acid? So let's take a look here. Point for me on the board. What are we starting with? What number? What do I already have a number for? There we go. I got 3, 4, 5 people up on the board. Let's get some more people up there. 6 people. Get up there. If you need to, you can tell me in the chat. What do we already know? What do we already know? I'm still waiting on more participation. This is the easy part, identifying what we know. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, we know we have 15 grams of hydrochloric acid. That's going to be my pink side, HCl. Go ahead and point for me in the map then on the pink side. Where do you see grams? Where do you see grams on the pink side? Yep, perfect, right there. And go ahead and tell me, what am I solving for? Again, always look for the question words. How many? What am I solving for? Grams of aluminum chloride, that's going to be our blue side, AlCl3. Point for me then on the blue side. Where do you see grams on the blue side? Yes, that is a mass. And point for me, what are the middle steps? What are the middle steps? There you go, right there in the middle. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and pause those tools. So again, we need molar mass to go from hydrochloric acid to moles. Always have to stop at moles first, then go moles to moles using our balanced chemical equation. And finally, we can go from moles to mass of the new chemical using that molar mass, all of which have been provided for you. I know, I like watching them too. All right, let's go ahead and fill this out. So I'm starting off with what I know, and what I know is that I have 15 grams of HCl. I want to turn that into fractions, so let's put it over 1. In the next step, I want to get rid of grams of HCl, so where does it need to go? On the bottom, beautiful. And on the top, what do I first need to solve for before I can even get to the new chemical? Tell me in the chat box, what do I need to solve for before I can even get to the new chemical? Excellent. I see the units. Again, it's the same chemical, so please give me the chemical as well, units and the chemical. We first have to get to what? Yeah, moles of HCl. That is an L, not an I, by the way. That's going to be important for when you write your answer for your notes. So we're going to moles of HCl. Again, everything needs to get to moles before we can do anything else. Now, again, the only thing that has grams and moles is the molar mass of hydrochloric acid, which is right down here. So let's take a look here. What number should go next to moles? And this is just a fraction in disguise. There's a blank there. Blanks mean what? Blanks next to moles means what? Yeah, it means 1. What number should go next to grams? Everybody in the chat, tell me what number goes next to grams from our molar mass. From our molar mass. Thank you. I see Rowan, I see Lisa, I see Jason and Angelina. Angelina, no, we want grams, 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 grams. Thank you, Miranda, I see you. Let's get Brian, Alexis in the chat, mustard, Sahil, Aaliyah in the chat. There we go. Yes, we're going to have 36.46. 36. I would not. Off. Turn off. Thank you. All right, so we've gotten rid of grams of hydrochloric acid. I now am at moles of hydrochloric acid. That is not what I'm solving for, so I need to keep on going. My Amazon Echo was talking to me. Every time I say Alexis's name, it turns on. All right, so taking a look here, I have moles of hydrochloric acid on top. In the next step, I want to get rid of it, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. Now, though, I can finally turn into the new chemical. So tell me, what's the new chemical and what units does that new chemical have to be in? Tell me units and chemical. Units and the new chemical. Thank you. I see Sierra, I see Lisa. Andres. Make sure those L's are lowercase, y'all. AL and A capital L are different, so those should be lowercase. Yeah, so now we can go moles to moles of our new chemical. So our new chemical, I'm going to change colors here actually. Our new chemical here is, if this will let me type again, nope, it's not going to let me type, is going to be moles of AlCl3. Beautiful. All right, so now we're at our new chemical. But this is still not correct because I'm still not solving for moles. I need to get to grams. So I still need to get rid of this moles. So I'm going to put it on the bottom here to get rid of it. So moles, oh my gosh, these tools. I miss Blackboard tools. All right, moles of AlCl3 on the bottom. And on the top, finally tell me, what am I solving for? What am I solving for? Yep, we are solving for grams of it, grams of AlCl3. And let's go ahead and fill that in. Oh, sorry, I forgot to fill in this middle one. So this middle one right here, again, moles to moles means I have to use my chemical equation. So let's take a look there. How many moles of aluminum chloride are in our chemical equation? How many moles of aluminum chloride are in the chemical equation? Take a look at the coefficient. Yeah, there are 2. How many moles of hydrochloric acid are in the chemical equation? Beautiful, 6, yes. Now let's go ahead and go back to our last step here. Last step again, we need something that is aluminum chloride with both grams and moles. That is our molar mass. So let's take a look at molar mass right here. How many grams is in aluminum chloride's molar mass? How many grams is in aluminum chloride's molar mass? Again, we're right here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, so we have on top 133.34 grams of aluminum chloride. Sorry, I want that blue. And on the bottom, how many moles is next to aluminum chloride's molar mass? Just 1. Yep, it's blank. Blank means 1. All right, so let's go ahead and see what this equals. On top, I'm left with 15 times 1 times 2 times 133.34. Grab your calculators, get ready to tell me what that is. And on the bottom, I should have 1 times 36.46 times 6 times 1. This is your last chance to practice this. So let's go before we do our final problem that you have to do on your own. So go ahead and tell me, what do I get on the top? What do I get on the top? I'll do it too. 15 times 1 times 2 times 133.34. Thank you, Sahil. Thank you, Andres. I see Lisa, Sierra, AJ, Miranda. Let's get Aaliyah. Aaliyah, mustard, 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 Alexis, Alexis, Alexis. In the chat, Brian, 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 Lourdes, Lourdes, Lourdes. Oh no, you're fine, Miranda. It can be written with a comma or not. It actually doesn't matter. Let's see here. I don't think I've seen Jason, Jason, Jason yet. Miguel, Miguel, Miguel. What do we get on top? Perfect. Yes. We should be getting 4,000. It's a nickname. 4,000.2 on top. And then what do we get on the bottom? Again, I will calculate it too. 36.46 times 6. What do we get on the bottom here? Quickly, we have 10 minutes left. Still that one problem that you have to do on your own. I want you to have as much time as possible, so work fast. Yeah, 218.76. There we go. Yeah, as long as it's school appropriate, I'm fine with calling you whatever you want to be called. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. So let's go ahead and take the top divided by the bottom, and what do you get? What is our final answer here? Top divided by the bottom. Please round to 2 decimal places. Again, make sure you double check your own answer and that you are rounding your own answer correctly, because again, the person before you might not be right, so always double check. All right, I see Sierra, I see Rowan. There we go, Sierra correcting that rounding. Thank you. I see Jason. Nice. Angelina, I see Lisa. Perfect, yeah. So over here, that's going to go ahead and give us 18.29. Again, just so you know, the 18.285, that 5 is a big number. And so you round up. So the 8 becomes a 9. Perfect. All right, so taking a look here, let's go ahead and analyze our units. Again, moles of aluminum chloride cancel out. I'm left with grams of aluminum chloride. And tell me in the chat box, is that what I was solving for? Grams of aluminum chloride, is that what I should be solving for? Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be our answer for number 2. I do want to emphasize that these are L's. All right, so these are L's. They are not I's. Right? They're just lowercase L's because aluminum and chlorine have lowercase L's in their abbreviation. All right, so that's going to be number 2, 18.29 grams AlCl3. Go ahead and fill that in. You have 20 seconds. Go, go, go. If you need to, take a picture and raise your hand. Okay, thanks, Andres, for letting me know. All right, checking in. Are we good? Sahil, Rowan, Mustard, Alexis, and Miguel. Again, Mustard, 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 Alexis, 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 Miguel, Miguel, Miguel. Checking in, checking in. Yeah, that's totally fine, Rowan. Yeah, I don't teach calculator theory, so that's like a skill from your math class, but that's totally fine. Miguel, are you there? Hello? I'm gonna check in with you. All right, there we go. Got you, Miguel. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I see your hand now, Mustard. I didn't see it though for a couple seconds, which is why I sent the message. Units again are GALCL3. Again, those are L's. All right, ALCL3. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and move on, everyone. So this is the one that you need to be able to do on your own. I'm going to help you set it up, but then you need to be able to finish it. So the question is, how many grams of hydrochloric acid are needed to produce 65 grams of lead chloride? Point for me on the board. What do we know? What do we know? I see 2 people. Let's go. Get your pointers up there. Again, I want to give you as much time as possible to do this question, but you have to participate. This is the one you have to do on your own, so make sure you're participating so you know what we're doing. I see 4 people on the board. Still 4 people on the board. Come on. You have lots of people helping you out. Get your answers up on the board or in the chat. There we go. 5 people, 6 people, 7 people. Good. Yeah, we're starting off with lead chloride, which is going to be our pink side. And again, we're starting off with grams. That'll be our mass. And what am I solving for? What am I solving for? Point for me on the question part. What am I solving for? Yeah, we're solving for grams of hydrochloric acid. That'll be my blue side, HCl. And again, grams is going to be mass. And point for me, what are the middle steps? What are the middle steps? This should be familiar. It's literally the same format for the last 2 questions right here. Beautiful. Looking good. Let's go ahead and begin to fill this out. So I'm starting off with 65 grams of PbCl2. And I want that in a fraction form, so I'll put it over 1. I'm going to go ahead and multiply it. In the next step, I want to get rid of grams of lead chloride, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. And on the top, what am I solving for? Tell me in the chat box. On the top, what am I solving for? It first needs to turn into what units? Before I can get to the blue side, tell me what units, and it's still the same chemical. So what's the units? What's the chemical? Tell me in the chat. I see 3 people in the chat. Again, we're right here. What's the units? It's still the same chemical, so what's the chemical? Units and chemical. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Rowan. Thank you, Lisa Sierra. Let's go in the chat. 5 minutes left. I want to give you as much time. Yeah, this is going to be moles now of the same chemical, PbCl2. Again, you can't change to a different chemical until you first get to moles of everything. Awesome. Taking a look here, this comes from our molar mass. Moles in grams comes from molar mass. So what number should I put next to moles? Take a look at our molar mass of lead chloride. It's a blank. Blanks mean what? Blanks mean 1. And what number should go next to grams? What number should go next to grams? Yep, 278.1 grams. Beautiful. So that gets rid of grams here. I'm left with moles, but that's not what I'm solving for. Now, I want to get rid of that moles, so I'll put it on the bottom. So moles of PbCl2 goes on the bottom. What goes on the top? I can now change into the new chemical. So tell me, what's the new chemical, and what units does that new chemical have to be in? What's the new chemical? What units does it have to be in? Right here. Yeah, it has to be moles. Again, we have to go moles to moles. And again, our new chemical here is going to be moles of hydrochloric acid, moles of HCl. Perfect. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this. Again, moles to moles means I need to be taking a look at my at my balanced chemical equation. How many moles of hydrochloric acid are in the chemical equation? How many moles of hydrochloric acid are in the chemical equation? Excellent. Yes, there are 2. And how many moles of lead chloride are in the chemical equation? Again, thinking about how this is going to be a blank. Blanks mean what? Blanks mean what? Change this to a different color. Yeah, blanks mean 1. There we go. So over 1. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and keep on going here. We've gotten to moles of hydrochloric acid. That is not what I'm solving for, so I need to keep on going. So I'll stick it on the bottom to get rid of it in the next step in blue here, / purple. This might be purple. I don't know. Here we go. So moles of HCl on the bottom. And on the top, finally, what am I solving for? What am I finally solving for? Take a look at what it says. How many what? How many what? Yeah, grams of HCl. Excellent. All right, so we have that. Now we just need to fill it in. Again, the only thing that has grams and moles is molar mass. So let's take a look at that molar mass right here. How many grams are in the molar mass of hydrochloric acid? How many grams are in the molar mass of hydrochloric acid? What number is next to grams? Yeah, 36.46. Let's fill that in. 36.46. And I will try to make this bigger. Come on, go bigger. There we go. And on the bottom here, how many moles are in this? How many moles are in this? Yeah, perfect. Just 1. Perfect. So on the top here, we have 65 times 1 times 2 times 36.46. Do not put answers in the chat because this one you have to do on your own. And on the bottom, we should have 1 times 278.1 times 1 times 1. So solve the top, solve the bottom, and then don't forget you need to do top divided by the bottom to get your final answer. Let's take a look at those units. Again, moles of hydrochloric acid divided out. I should be left with grams of hydrochloric acid. So in your answer, please make sure that you have grams of HCl. Again, this is an L, not an I. All right, so grab that answer and round to 2 decimal places. So it should be number, dot, number. All right, go ahead and raise your hand when you have that solved. I'll give you 45 seconds and then we will do our attendance. If you need help, I am in the chat. If you need help, I'm in the chat. No worries, Angelina. Andres, multiply the top, multiply the bottom, and then just do top divided by the bottom. We already set it all up. You just need to do the math part. So just multiply what you see on top in your calculator, multiply what you see on the bottom in your calculator, and then do that top number divided by the bottom number. All right, if you need help, I'm in the private chat. or in the Q&A chat. And if you need to, take a picture, and that way you can finish it after class because we are out of time here. Waiting on raised hands, AJ, Aaliyah. Andres, I know you're working. Thank you, Andres. Waiting on Sahil, Miguel. Raise your hands if you're all set so that we can move on. Okay, not done yet. No worries, AJ. Take a picture if you need to. Sahil, Miguel. Let me know if you need help. Raise your hand if you're good or talk to me in the chat. All right, I'm going to go ahead and keep on moving. AJ, did you get a picture? Are you good? Okay, no worries, Angelina. Perfect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over attendance. I can go back to it though, AJ, if you need me to. All right, we did 3-step calculations today. Pretty crazy. Go ahead and point for me on the board. How are we feeling? We still have another set of 3-step that we're going to do next week. So hopefully you're in the still need some help or pretty good area. If you're in the awesome area, that's awesome, obviously. But hopefully we're getting more and more familiar. Excellent. All right, everyone, let me stop our